Oh,
Action!
Action! One thing
Okay.
to start, we had like a rough starting point in our first video.
Right.
Like we're all gangle faced. So we should have like a moment before we start talking. That way we can edit a little bit smoother. You know what I'm saying?
Like a moment where we just sit here like this.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, ready?
Okay. Don't look at my nose!
Now I got the butterflies.
Now I gotta poop.
Anyone in close proximity has the same dream.
What is it?
A secret that can no longer be kept. It started a month ago.
What started?
A change in the earth and the sky. His power.
Welcome to Parts. My name's Aaron McDonald. This is John Forsyth.
Hello there.
Hey, John, have you ever inadvertently wandered into a basement because the local priest had died and found Satan in a vat of green liquid?
I have actually.
Wow.
It's a good story,
that just
but
ruined my joke.
I mean, no.
Well, you're in luck because tonight we're discussing John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Should we talk about Prince of Darkness?
Main event.
The main event.
Main event. So. Fuck me. All right. So Prince of Darkness is a John Carpenter film that I remember seeing when I was a kid. This was the 80s. HBO was like just bar none one of the coolest things to actually have in your home. And during the summers, me and my sister and my brother would camp out in our living room and just watch movies on it. I mean, we would literally watch HBO. No matter what was on, it's a free movie. You watch it.
Yeah.
And I remember one night, my sister and my brother had fallen asleep. But for some reason, little 5-year-old me, I was still wide awake. And Prince of Darkness was coming on HBO. And I immediately, just the title alone, like, made me feel uncomfortable. Like, because they would actually HBO would actually announce films, up next, blah, blah. And it was Prince of Darkness. And the name alone just gave me the willies, and I was 5 years old. But I stayed awake and I watched it. And it was, even being a little guy, it held my attention a lot. I don't remember fully understanding all the depth of the plot and all the theology elements, because, you're 5 years old. But what I was saying earlier, what I remember the most, and what stuck with me well into my teens and my 20s, this image of Alice Cooper as this street bum, and he was the scariest thing in the movie. Even being 5 years old, there's some visuals in Prince of Darkness that are just phenomenal. You can literally watch Prince of Darkness with the sound off, and the visuals alone will just give you the freaking creeps. It's such a visual. It's probably one of Carpenter's, I would say, one of his most visual films as far as...
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, there's just the way the set pieces and the way he holds on shots. I mean, it's a beautifully made film, and maybe not Carpenter's best, story-wise or dialogue-wise, but if nothing else, Prince of Darkness for the visuals alone it's a phenomenal little trip to go down just to watch it. I was probably 19, and I found it on one of our shopping trips on video. I bought it, And I watched it first, and then I let you borrow it.
Yep. And that was the first time that I had ever seen.
And you'd never seen it,
Prince
exactly.
of Darkness. And at that point, I thought I had seen everything Carpenter
Exactly.
Carpenter
Carpenter.
had ever done. I mean, I had seen like Big Trouble in Little China was maybe was definitely my favorite movie. I had seen
I actually agree with that.
I had seen Halloween. I had seen In the Mouth of Madness. I had seen Vampire. Like I had seen a ton of his movies, and didn't even know that like that Prince of Darkness that was in his filmography. And so when John approached me and said, "Oh, you haven't seen like John Carpenter did this movie," I was like, "Yeah, dude, let me check it out." And it fucking, dude, the makeup effects are so effective.
Absolutely.
Especially there's this character. Well, let's get into the movie.
We'll get into that later, yeah.
So Prince of Darkness is in the middle of what John Carpenter is known as John Carpenter's Armageddon trilogy,
Yes,
right?
the Apocalypse trilogy.
The Apocalypse trilogy. Yeah. So it started off with The Thing. Then it was Prince of Darkness, and then In the Mouth of Madness rounded out the trilogy.
Which is a Carpenter movie that I'd never seen that you showed me for the first time. I'd never seen...
Really?
In the Mouth of Madness, no.
That's one of my favorite. I think I have a soft spot for some reason. Like, well, it was 90s horror, right? And we didn't get a ton of like super good 90s horror.
There wasn't a lot of great horror in the 90s until Scream. And then after Scream, there really wasn't a whole lot of great horror afterwards either.
So, I love this movie. Like, it's got so much going for it that speaks to me. It might, I don't know if it's Carpenter's scariest movie, but it's got some of the most effective, like, it fucked me up. Oh, even as a 19-year-old kid, seasoned horror vet.
Right.
Some of the imagery, like, was just so intense.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. That's my favorite part of the movie. Yeah, like I said, are the visuals. It just does. I don't know what it does, but it just does something to you,
dude. And as soon as Dennis Dunn walked on, like it had me from the word go. I need is Dennis Dunn. Dennis Dunn got short shrift on his film career.
I agree. I was actually shocked. I had this thing in my head that I've seen him in like a dozen movies. Like, oh, I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. And then when I actually looked him up, I was like, I've really only seen him in Big Trouble and then Prince of Darkness. I've never seen him in anything else. And he's awesome in both these films. It's so weird.
He's in this movie Year of the Dragon with Mickey Rourke.
That's right, yes.
But he, like, his character, like, I was super excited to when I watched Year of the Dragon that he was in there.
Right.
But his character, he doesn't have, like, yeah, dude.
That
the Carpenter Dunn is the only Dunn
That's
for
the
me.
Dunn, absolutely.
Yeah. He's
the
got so
Dunn.
much personality, dude.
Exactly, yes.
But
over the top in the best way, like it's,
dude. And when we were kids, like, we'd be playing Big Trouble in Little China, and people wanted to be. My buddies wanted to be. We all wanted to be Wong.
Yeah.
Because Wong is the badass.
Exactly.
Jack Burton is a different type of badass, and he gets to be the hero in the end.
And he gets the girl. I wanted to be.
But
Wong
is fucking going through Wang. Sorry, Wang. Wang is going through. He's flying through the air doing sword fights. He's just so fucking badass.
He's effective. Exactly. Badass is a very good word.
This also has Victor Wong in it.
Yes, Victor Wong.
Nobody fucking delivers metaphysical exposition like Victor Wong.
That is a damn truth. I could listen to him speak for hours.
He
could explain the universe to me, and I would just be, just hooked on every word. I love him.
He's just he's got that wonky eye, but like he's got the wisdom of 1,000 men.
Absolutely.
and like every word that comes out of his mouth, it just like I feel like I'm getting smarter just listening to
Exactly.
it.
It's like, oh, this dude speaks to my friggin' soul.
Egg Shen, he was also in The Golden Child.
Golden Child, and he was in Tremors.
He was in Tremors.
He was
That's
Walter.
right.
Yes.
He named the Graboids.
Yeah, that exactly. That's right. And then he gets eaten by one.
Well,
Spoiler, if you've never seen Tremors, and if you haven't, what the hell's wrong with you?
so right in the beginning of this, this has Donald Pleasance, who plays a priest,
Yes.
right? And Donald Pleasance and Victor Wong are the two kind of like Donald Pleasance plays
That's hard to
priest,
say. Donald Pleasance plays priest.
And Victor Wong is the physicist.
Yes.
And so they're kind of two sides of the same coin, right? But there's a lot of dialogue exchanges between Wong and Pleasance.
Absolutely.
And they're all kind of, they're just pitch perfect, man. Like, those guys playing those characters, like, for me, you couldn't get a better duo of people battling it out.
I could not agree more. And Pleasance is another guy that I could listen to him speak for hours. And he's just not always the most intelligible guy in the world, so I can relate. But I could just listen to him speak, and when he gets radical and crazy, so to watch him and Victor Wong go back and forth, for me, like, that was like that's a dream scenario, and it's so well done and so well captured by Carpenter. I mean, he really got the best of both of them.
Carpenter
Hands
wrote
down.
this, he wrote and directed this, right?
Yes, yeah.
He wrote this under a pseudonym, Martin Quatermass.
Which I never knew that. That was news.
Yeah, so like I don't know why. Like Quatermass is an homage to the Quatermass of like the Hammer pictures. They're old.
Right.
There was
okay.
a scientist named Quatermass.
All right. Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know that either.
And his script supervisor is Sandy King, who is currently his spouse.
Is that his current wife? Are they still married?
They're still married.
Oh, okay.
But check this out. Do you know who the script supervisor was on Halloween?
Deborah Hill.
Yeah.
Who he was boyfriend-girlfriend with.
So, what can we deduct from this? That John Carpenter loves script supervisors.
That is true. I was going to say, is she going to die like poor Deborah Hill? But that's where I went.
Wow. Wow.
That's the first place that my mind. I'm like, so, but poor Deborah Hill died. So is you saying that she's gonna die next? Is Carpenter killing his wives? Is this?
Oh shit.
Is this what you're trying to say?
Oh shit. Well, Adrienne Barbeau is still alive.
Yeah, that's Adrienne Barbeau.
Yeah, she's unkillable.
She's unkillable.
And she's still Adrienne Barbeau.
She's Adrienne Barbeau.
Sorry.
Okay.
So Priest passes away, and Donald Pleasance comes in to take over to oversee the church that this other priest has been watching over. And Donald Pleasance discovers that down in the basement there's a giant vat of green liquid that's in perpetual
Swirling.
motion.
And it's huge.
And,
it's the size like a man. Like, it's huge.
Yeah, it's massive. And so he kind of discovers this and gets Victor Wong involved because it all starts to go into quantum physics, right?
Yeah.
And so Victor Wong, he gets his best students and some of the other faculty members involved, and they're going to do this 3-day study in this church of this container and the contents therein, right?
Just to see what this thing is, because no one knows what the hell it is. Because the only person who knew was the priest who had died. And so Pleasance kind of walks into the situation with no clue what is going on. Other than what he feels. Which Pleasance plays off beautifully. You know, you feel what he's feeling because, you know, it's Pleasance.
And shenanigans ensue.
Hilarity ensues.
So
Real quick, I want to mention, These are college students. These are college students, but all of them look like they're like 35, 40.
One of them is Simon from Simon
It's
and
from Simon and Simon, exactly. I'm like, that dude was like 35 at least.
And one of them looks like a Neanderthal.
Yes.
He looks like the Iceman that just came alive. He's a balding. Yeah. He's got a protruding forehead.
He has the troglodyte forehead.
He looks like he ate Chuck Norris.
Yes. After whipping his ass, which we all know is impossible. These are not... Maybe they're grad students, but even still, if you're a grad student, you're maybe 20, 22, 25, maybe. These guys are obviously in their 30s.
Some of them look like they're in their 50s.
Yes. Which is the only thing that really is the only real thing that kind of draws me out a little bit. I'm like, well, these are not college kids.
Except for Dennis Dunn.
Dennis Dunn, yeah, ageless perfection. But I did want to mention something that Taekwondo always thought about. Jameson Parker. I've always said that the role that Jameson Parker plays, in my opinion, I think should have been like a Tom Atkins role. It feels like that role would have been tailor-made for Tom Atkins. Does it not?
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely... I'm sure that Carpenter had written the role for Tom Atkins, but Tom Atkins was literally 50 when this was made. Tom Atkins looked like he was 60 years old when he was 20.
So
people aged differently back in the 70s as well.
But if they could have found a way to kind of make him, that character, his name is Brian, make him not be a college student and just be like one of the professors, somehow morph that around and use Tom Atkins, that would have made... In my opinion, it would change the whole dynamic of the college students, because he's kind of the star of the kids. Him and Dennis Dunn are kind of your main two of the college kid group, and I just think it would have made for a lot better dynamic with those characters and the love story, which is shoehorned the fuck in.
Like, he's so fucking creepy. Like, he has this love interest.
It's creepy as shit.
And he immediately fucking just says some super fucking
inappropriate
sexist shit to her.
Yeah.
But that's how you hit on people in the 80s.
Apparently it worked. You were allowed to walk up and say, "Hey, look at..." Yeah. But I think that dynamic, though, of that shoehorned in love story would have played better with Atkins. I don't know why. Maybe he brings a charisma because it's Tom Atkins, who I love and everything. He would have made that role less creepy and maybe a little more believable in that love story aspect.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
He basically walks up to her and says, "Hey, Jugs."
Yeah, exactly.
And she gets offended immediately, and then she swoons.
But it's the 80s, so yes, your knee jerk is to be like, "How dare you?" But he's kind of cute, really.
And he kind of backs out of whatever he was. I don't know. It was absurd.
Yes.
And that is kind of has always been my even when you first showed this to me, I said, "Hey, I don't know. I don't know about this."
That's a little out there, isn't it, John Carpenter?
Dude, so when they first go into... So all these scientists go into this church, and when they're all it's three or four different departments, and they're all meeting each other. So they all kind of meet each other and start their studies, and everything's going fucking they're doing carbon dating.
They're in it,
scriptures.
All the equipment's there, and they start this study it's within hours, which always seemed a little abrupt to me. It's oh, the shit's already there.
I'm all the way in.
I try to build an entertainment center from scratch from IKEA, and it takes me 2-3 days. These college kids. What
do you think, you're smart because you go to college?
Exactly. They did. They get this shit up and running with no time at all. And this is quantum physics equipment. This shit is up and running in no time at all, and it's functioning. There's no bugs. Everybody's there. But to be fair to the story, these are the best of the best. They recruit the best of the best in these fields. So maybe it's possible that they actually did get all this stuff up and running, that fast. Without blowing a spark plug or losing a wire or something, nothing goes wrong.
Yeah, I'm all the way in.
Yeah.
I have no questions about it. They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're doctors.
Obviously, exactly. They're college kids.
Well, want to just go through and explain the movie.
The whole, yeah.
Like, things start happening, right? This vat is starting to control, like, I think they explain it as in it can control lower life forms or the easily manipulated,
Yes.
right? So,
which comes to my next point, which is my favorite aspect of the film. So, basically, the cylinder, which you don't find out until later exactly what it is, but at that point, like you said, it starts to control the easily controlled. And who that includes in this case would be this. They're not really a gang yet, but they're just these random vagrants and bums, and they slowly converge on this church out of nowhere. And one of them is one of my absolute heroes of heroes. My favorite people on this planet is Alice Cooper, and Alice plays what is later revealed as is the kind of king of the street people. He's
which is actually true to life.
Which is pretty much Alice Cooper in general. So the cylinder kind of calls out. It kind of draws in this roving gang of street people, and they slowly converge on the church, and then they're definitely influenced by this source that they have no clue what it is, but they're being kind of controlled by it. And they become violent. They become super violent and super protective of this cylinder in the basement of this church. And like I was saying earlier, the image of Alice Cooper, because he's all pale, he's all ratty looking. He's Alice Cooper. But he is just, there's something about him, the way he looks, the way he moves in this film that just always gave me the creeps. Like, to this day, talking about it, it gives me chills because he is so effective. He never says a word, never speaks. It's all body language and it's all intimidation, and it's so well done.
He's like his own special effect.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's got a little bit of makeup on to make him more pale.
He's pale.
But Alice Cooper just exudes
it's a
malevolence.
Absolutely. You know? That's a great word. Yes, exactly. And you kind of feel that.
This movie is so fucking cool because it takes a scientific point of view on religion. So basically what happens is they figure out that Satan is basically antimatter, right? Yes. There's God and Satan is anti-God.
Is anti-God, yes.
So they use quantum physics to explain Satan.
Which is such a neat concept because I don't know if that's ever been done quite like this.
I don't think it's ever been done. Like, I've never seen anything that, like, I've never seen anything like it, really.
True. I agree.
And it's such a cool concept of, like, the idea is between, like, in the atoms, right? If God is the atom, then the devil is the space between the atoms.
Yes.
Like, between the neurons and electrons. And there's always this balance of good and evil, right?
Exactly, which is classic storytelling.
So it's like a vat of pure evil, but it's also a vat of Satan, which is the same thing.
It's literally Satan. Satan himself is this vat of green antimatter, basically.
Like Satan is a son of these ancient gods.
Yes.
And the goal is for him to manifest into a body, and he'll be able to bring the old gods into our current reality,
the modern world, and then the end of the day. I mean, you know, the friggin' apocalypse. You know.
So that's what's happening, and these fucking egghead nerds have to try and stop it.
Yes, it's up to the college students to save the world, basically. And again, that's just, to me, that I still think that's just such a neat concept. With the beautiful assistance of Donald Pleasance, who, to be fair, does save the day all by himself.
Yeah. Yep. I guess he is the, well,
I mean, there's a few.
They all have a hand in it, but
the final death blow is dealt by my man Donald Pleasance.
After he is hiding for the last...
After he hides for, you know, a large part of the climax of the film, but Pleasance is just, you know, he literally goes into hiding.
So
While all these kids are massacred, Pleasance is hiding. But I don't care because it's
with
not
an
Pleasance.
axe, he's hiding in the corner
He
with
has
fucking
a weapon. And he's
with a
hiding,
fire axe.
And he's hiding with it while all these kids are getting slaughtered. Beautiful, beautiful thing.
So what's your favorite part?
My favorite part is more or less a visual cue. So Dennis Dunn is trapped in this closet, and his friends are on the other side in the next room over. But in the room where the closet is where basically the manifestation of Satan is, and his two little guardians. There's these two girls who are possessed, and they're literally, and it's oh my god. So he's trapped in this closet, and these two girls are waiting for him. They kind of chased him in there. They know he's there, but they're not doing anything. They're just standing there. So he's looking through these slats on this door, and he can see them, and they're just standing there. They're not doing anything, and they're stone cold. And this goes on. Apparently, it goes through the night into the morning. So he looks out there and sees them at nighttime, and they're there. And then within 20 seconds, it kind of cues up like it's sunshine. You know, it's the next day. He peeks back out, and they're still there. Nothing's changed. And that, to me, is one of the creepiest things in the friggin' world. And because of that, that's probably is my favorite part of the whole movie. That and Alice Cooper with the bicycle. Because it's Alice. But as a visual cue, and of course, poor Dennis Dunn, who is amazing. His acting in that scene is
so good.
Really over the top, but done in a very, very cool way. And that's my favorite part. What's your favorite part?
Well, I have a few, right? Me being the the human I am.
Yes.
There's this running joke through the whole movie where one of the one of the scientists she's like the first one to get possessed,
yes.
right? Like everybody's looking for her, but nobody knows who she is. Like every time there's like one character who knows who she is, and he keeps asking everybody else, and they're like, "Who?
Who?
Well, I have no idea who you're talking about." So there's a part where Dennis Dunn is escaping from a nefarious situation, and he scoots out this wall, and he and like one of the other the demon characters is chasing after him, and Dennis Dunn and Victor Wong just grab these bricks and just start fucking bashing this person, just smacking this person as if they had never. It's so insane, dude. It fucking killed me. I was laughing so hard. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? This is one of Carpenter's underrated masterpieces.
It's a true forgotten gem.
Masterpiece, I don't know about that.
I don't know. It's a gem. It's a gem. It's because no one really talks about it. It doesn't really get a lot of fanfare, especially in the positive realm. But because most people don't really even know it existed. I mean, in a way, it feels like Prince of Darkness was rushed. Maybe he didn't have It almost feels like he was like under pressure to write it and didn't have enough time to kind of fine tune the story and the characters. Like there's a little bit of both, but they don't come together.
This almost feels like the entry point to things like vampires and Ghosts of Mars.
Exactly. Ghost of Mars. Pam Grier, baby.
This is one of my favorite Carpenter movies.
It's honestly in my top 3. Hands down, one of my top 3 favorites. And maybe it's because I have a nostalgia for it, or because it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, it's gross, it's
terrifying, man. It is scary.
And and again, here I go with my broken record, but the visuals are genuine. Some of Carpenter's best visuals of all time.
Yeah.
It's a feast for your eyes, if nothing else. As I said earlier, you could literally watch this, and not because it's bad, but you could literally watch this with the sound off and still get the same emotional reaction just from the visuals.
Very unsettling.
It's one of Carpenter's best films as far as a visual experience, I think, out of all of his movies. To be 100% fair.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Which is why it being so underrated is kind of sad, because if you've never seen it, you really are missing out. It really is a feast for your eyes and your soul. It's just, I love this movie. I really, really do. I can't say enough about it.
This, I came away from this movie. I had like it affected me after like the first time I saw this.
Absolutely, yeah.
So hopefully, if you get anything from our spiel,
Yes.
I would encourage you to watch to watch this movie, to give it a shot,
Absolutely.
and to expand your horizons. Right. So if you again, if you liked what you saw here, like and subscribe.
Comment, tell your friends, share.
Tell everybody.
Tell everybody. Share your
Please.
asses off. Please.
We have a Facebook page, which is Parts Another Movie channel.
Yes.
And we also have a Instagram.
We are working.
We are working
on
on
an Instagram
getting
page.
an Instagram. But in the meantime, you can find us both on the socials under our governments.
Yes.
So
So if you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook, search for Parts Another Movie channel, and you will find us.
and hopefully you watch this masterpiece.
The Prince of Darkness. He studies the world with hungry eyes.
And away we go.